guys, welcome to my channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm sorry, I'll never do that again. That was really cringe. Now that my IKEA of Hell asset storage has been successfully reorganized, I can get back to building. Woohoo! And lucky for you, I've just edited down 9 hours worth of footage into a 15-minute long time lapse just for you. So this is my Mykonos project, also known as Lefko Nisi. I've been working on it for a year now, which makes a lot of sense considering half of that year was spent reorganizing my studio. But every now and then, I build a little house, I make a time lapse of it, and it gets 200 views. So let's take a look. Let's do it. So I start with my empty vacant lot. This is what it looks like before the house was there. This is what I'm building after all. And the first thing I actually worked on was the stairs that lead up to the house. I've got like this 2-level effect going on in the build. It's very much inspired by the layout of Apatos from Sonic Unleashed. And so yeah, right now I am just setting up the stairs. I'm softening out those edges. That's something that's very consistent in this build, is that I soften out those edges and I round them a lot. Make them kind of look like big old marshmallows, and that is in tune with the theme of the Greek architecture. So softening out all of those edges, opening up the build studio, and this is where I had my first problem. The corner sphere that I wanted turned out to not fit, which is fine. I can just use a mesh sphere and align it that way. It's whatever. It does mean that it is slightly more triangles than I want it to be. However, there was no other option really. And then I committed the great sin of building something that people always hate whenever they see a builder do it and want to call you out for it and get you exercised, and it was unioning. I did union 2 parts on each of the banisters of those stairs. And I'm not sorry. The reason people don't like unions is because they can be very memory intensive. However, a couple is fine, the collisions are fine. If you group them, it's pretty much okay. And if you have loads of them, you can just transfer them into meshes and it's fine. I didn't do that because no one would notice. I'm pretty sure this is only one of like 3 unions that I've used in the whole build. But yes, don't hate me, okay? It's fine, I know what I'm doing, I think. So then I'm working on the little raised platform that will lead to the house. So you see it there, I'm rounding out all of those edges, making it look nice and snazzy. Again, rounding out all of those edges. It's just those nice little details that really do show that you care about your build and what you want it to be. Just nice little attention to detail like that. So I big screened the studio so you can see everything that's going on in the background while I build the foundation of the house. So you can see my explorer on the right and my properties on the bottom right. On the bottom left is my materials, and on the top left is just where I store some of my big buildings. It's just my toolbox really. At the bottom you can see the output, and miraculously today there are no errors in the output, so I must be doing something right. Back at the big screen you can see me working on this balcony, and this was actually a bit of a nightmare because the width wasn't originally what I liked, and so I had to correct it later. Yeah, just smoothing out all of those walls, getting all of those spheres in place, making it all really nice and just good quality really. So I'm working on the stairs on the side here. I wanted to have like this stairway that would lead down to where like there would be some coal storage for fuel and things. And this wasn't technically part of the original reference. I mean, the stairs were, but what I imagined it would be used for was just my own kind of headcanon, I guess. And you can see me struggling for quite a while at getting that corner rounded because for some reason the spheres just weren't behaving with me that day. And then it's time to make the stairs. And the stairs were a nightmare. I just couldn't get them aligned right in a way that I was happy with. You can see me just constantly raising and lowering them, trying to get them all the same width and the same height. But we got there in the end, and then it was time for my favorite part of building these houses, which is foliage. I added this original like Madagascan umbrella plant, I think, and then I didn't like how it looked, so I just used a cypress instead, which I think makes more sense for this build. Adding some little shutters to the window and a little lantern. Ah, it's so cute. Little pebbles, add the detail. And then it was time to go in and actually add some furniture and some details to that staircase. So I've got like a little canister for my coal, I put a rug, trash can. This was definitely going to be like the little area that this house owner would store all of the things that weren't really nice to keep in the house but essential. Things like coal, things like where they would store their trash. And then I did like some vines over the top that would connect the house that I made in the previous video to the window of the house in this video. That was really nice. I do really like using my vines and creating cool little patterns and paths for it to follow. This is always really therapeutic. And this whole time while I was doing all of this, I was in my Discord server, which had recently blown up and gotten really popular, chatting to all of the new people that had come to say hello to me and ask me building questions. It's really, really cool that you guys are there, and if you haven't, you should totally join my Discord server. I love talking to all of you and showing you what I'm building and giving you feedback on your builds as well. So you can see that I just opened up my big pot collection there. Those are my outdoor ceramics specifically. I store all of those in a separate studio, and I will refer to them when getting assets to place in this studio. And back to pretty vines. I love my vines. They're really fun. You might have noticed that I place a lot of those grime decals about, and I think that they're really important. Sure, they can make a build look quite ugly. It was once this clean white limestone block, and now it's got all of these ugly black scrapes all over it, but that is kind of how builds work, especially if they've been around for a long time. You are going to find imperfections in them, especially in Roblox. If it looks too clean, it can almost look a little bit suspicious. It looks a bit artificial, and so just trying to find all of the grime decals that I can to add into this showcase make all the difference, in my opinion. The gnaw! Getting the gnaw, that was annoying. I really didn't fancy making another door, so I just got one that I had previously made. Smoothed it all out, added the curtains. I really struggled with finding a pattern. I decided that I just wanted something simple and white, and then I added a hint of blue just to fit with the theme a bit better, since there's blue all over the showcase. And then a door handle from my other asset studio, and then the for sale sign. I don't know if I explained this in the last 2 time lapses that I made, but essentially what I planned for this showcase to be is virtual real estate. I want players to be able to buy a property and then it will permanently be theirs forever. So this will be like their own personal home on Roblox, no matter what server they're in, it's theirs. And they can use Roblox Studio, I'll give them the dimensions, and then they can build the inside if they want, and then I will add it, and then they have a cool place to take their friends and hang out if they want to. It's something that I've seen a lot on other hangout games like VR chat that I haven't really seen much of on Roblox. I know that it does exist on Roblox. The Frizzed Cafe, I'm pretty sure, has it. But it's something that I really wanted to experiment with and give a little go. So yeah, when the showcase does eventually get released, that is something that I want to look into for that one. And then it's time to get all my pretty plants to put on the little windowsill. Get my trowel and my scissors. These are all things that I made years ago that I store for, well, just in case I ever need them again. Setting up the border for the house. I wanted like a nice pattern along the floor, and I started off with that white one, but I just wasn't feeling it. I thought that the wooden one looked better. The shading on it was a bit off. I think the normal maps weren't perfect, but I don't think you can really notice it that much. The next window being made. Have you noticed that? For this one I wanted to like kind of add these vine arches around the windows and doors with like some little white flowers on it. I think it's really cool that every single house that I've made has a unique plant that's used only on that house. It's kind of like a motif for each house. I think that's really pretty. I really want this build to be floral and also very beach-like. You can't see it in this studio, but there is going to be a huge ocean down below, just like in the reference images, which I'm sure I'll find for you. Again, this is inspired by Mykonos, which I visited when I was very young, with the layout of Apatos from Sonic Unleashed as well. So I skipped a little bit ahead because all of that was kind of the same. It was just placing down vines and stuff, and only 6% of my audience make it to the end of my videos, so we gotta keep this engaging somehow. So I'm now adding storage to the medium roof that's also slightly accessible to the balcony. I imagined that it would be a very useful place for a house owner to store all of their trash that they're not regularly using but might find use for in the future, and so don't want to necessarily throw away. And then it's time to work on the actual balcony itself. I was super stumped as to what I actually wanted this balcony to be. Luckily, I had some super cool people in the VC with me, giving me lots of feedback and advice on what I should add. They were the ones who decided to add that little wavy mosaic to the bottom of the balcony, which I think was a really good suggestion. They also said that I should add like a washing line for clothing, and they were totally right, and so I went about kind of setting that up. I added this shelving for clothing that had dried and had been folded up, added like some wire and some sticks for the washing line, and then added the clothes themselves, using all of my cool floral patterns and stuff to make all of that work. All very cute. I'm very happy that my fans were able to give me super solid advice for things that I could build. And then it was all about setting up like a little washing area. I added like a basin and I forgot what they're called, the things that you scrub with. And then once the balcony was done, it's time to make the sign for the house. We're pretty much near the end of the build now. I love experimenting with different fonts and stuff. I get all of my fonts from dafont.com. Strongly recommend if you need to find cool, unique fonts for your build. That being said, do make sure that you are allowed to use them for commercial use if you are making money off of your games. So I really liked this motif of like the kind of white worn wood with a blue panel on top, with like some white pearls, and then also like an olive branch spouting out over the top. I thought that that was very cute, very floral. I thought that it fit the theme that I went with for that specific house. All of the houses have numbers, and this one is number 4. It is technically the 5th house I've made, but I haven't numbered one of them yet because it's in an area that wouldn't make sense for me to number, because it wouldn't be like in order of the numbers. Added some final little texturing to the wall down there, and then the build is done. Check it out. It's all done. It's great. I love it. It's not as plant heavy as the others, and the main reason for that is because when I make the house on the other side, I'm going to have like this overarching wooden structure, and then all of the flowers and vines are going to grow over the top of it, and that's not something that I can do until the house opposite is done. So it looks a bit naked for now, but it will look a lot more floral very soon, and hopefully we'll be able to see that when I make my next time lapse for this Mykonos series. Now that the studio is reorganized, I'm going to continue working on it whenever I can. I'm always getting questions asking, how did you make this on Roblox? So it's also very useful for you to see my process and how I go about making stuff. I guess a little debrief, all is good. The last video that I uploaded, the one about my asset storage, that's at like 30,000 views now, which doesn't seem like a lot. It's the video that was engaged with the most. It's got loads of comments on it, asking lots of questions about me and my builds and why my pop filter's on the wrong side of my mic. I've also had loads of people join my Discord server. Before I released the YouTube video, we were at 212 members. Now we're almost at 500, and someone else has just joined who I need to verify now. It's very overwhelming how quickly people have just come out of the woodworks just to talk to me. I appreciate all of you. It's really, really cool seeing so many people liking what I'm doing and supporting it. So yeah, if you are new, feel free to join the Discord server. You are welcome to ping me and show me all of your cool Roblox builds, and I'll be happy to give feedback or advice when asked. You can also get help from other builders there as well. We've got some pretty cool people in that. Verification is currently done manually. You have to tell me how you found the Discord, and then I will give you the role. So you may have to wait anywhere between a couple minutes to a few hours. I'm sorry. We are working on getting it automated. I say we, my friend Trip Trappers. Thank you, Trip Trap. And yeah, then you'll be able to come hang out with us. We do game nights. I plan on doing events in the future. You can give me suggestions for what videos to make. I'd love to have you along for the ride. Until then, I hope that you are well. I hope that you're happy. I hope that you're living the dream. And even if you aren't, I hope that you're not letting that affect other people. I hope that we're all staying kind, we're all very supportive of one another. We're going to uplift other developers. Even if we don't like what they've made, it's still good to encourage developers to keep going, keep hammering on, keep improving their work and working towards improving themselves as well. I'm trying to upload a video every single week, so I'll see you very, very soon. And yeah. Goodbye!